Studies have shown that more than 90% of teenagers who try to take their own lives have a mental health problem, as said by Stanley Kutcher of the Canadian Medical Association Journal. Teenage suicide is a major problem in the United States. Every year, the rates of teenage suicide increase by numerous numbers. Nobody can really understand what goes through someone's mind at the time of suicide, but there are many things that can cause the thoughts and temptations of this massive problem. There are many causes to teenage suicide, but the three main causes deal with the development of depression, the development and lifelong case of low self-esteem, and having a negative outlook on life. So what does it mean when depression is the #1 leading cause of teenage suicide? It means that not enough things are being done to prevent the development of suicide. There are many situations that can cause depression, and most of them can be realized and noticed beforehand and thought of as a probable cause of suicide. According to Kevin Caruso, the loss of a loved one, ending of a serious relationship, the loss of an important job, the diagnosis of a serious illness, and even the experience of some sort of abuse can cause the thoughts and temptations of teenage suicide. There are many things that can cause depression, and with all the possible causes, it is more than likely that someone has a majority of problems which can then lead to the decision of suicide. Depression is a worldwide problem that shouldn't be taken lightly. Armstrong Williams has a majority of thoughts about depression and suicide. One of them being that adolescence is a time of great emotional stress, which is caused by all the experiences throughout life. Being so confused about things that are happening in life can lead to a severe case of depression. A teenager's life isn't always easy, and when a teenager is that overwhelmed, they can make some drastic decisions. With this, depression affects almost everyone and at any time, so it is a high risk factor for the attempt to suicide. Depression isn't the only thing that you should worry about with teenagers. Having a low self-esteem is another huge problem with youth. Teenagers set a high priority on how they view themselves, and if they look at themselves negatively, or they think that others look at them negatively, then they can develop a low self-esteem. Low self-esteem has many causes and shouldn't be taken lightly. It can lead to many problems, which include the attempt to suicide. Family first aid is another area that shows many ideas on having low self-esteem. This lifelong case can be caused by one's own experience and appearance, as in when somebody views themselves through their own eyes negatively, or a bigger problem such as the influence on their peers, such as when somebody makes fun of them or makes up a nickname that they don't really approve of. Other things that can lead to the development of low self-esteem is being criticized by a teacher or parent. Teenagers who feel like they are being singled out by someone, they feel like that they are not looking up to those expectations that were put on them, which then can bring feelings of being outcast or feeling overwhelmed. Also, another thing that can lead to low self-esteem is the pressure that they put on themselves to meet their own expectations. They may get feelings of being down, which can then develop a severe case of low self-esteem. No matter what the cause is for this, it can become really serious and jeopardize someone's life. With every case of a teenager who has suicidal thoughts, they normally have a lot of negative thoughts that go through their mind over and over again. They feel like they have no importance in life, so life just isn't worth living anymore. Feelings of hopelessness in one's own actions, being scared that they won't make it through life, and feelings of loneliness are all negative thoughts that can cause the temptations of suicide. They feel like taking their own life is the only way to solve their own problems, and to help solve the problems of other people as well. They don't think that anything can help them make their lives more positive anymore. They think that everything always goes wrong, and it always will. People and teenagers with these negative thoughts just can't cope with their horrible lives anymore, so they resort to the only way out that they can think of, which is suicide. Maybe someday these teenagers will understand themselves better and not have to resort to taking their own lives, But as of right now, it is a huge problem and should be looked at seriously and understood. Teenagers may be just depressed, have low self-esteem, or may look at themselves negatively and attempt suicide. There could be a number of reasons to teenage suicide, and most everybody doesn't realize it until it is too late. No matter what is going on in a teenager's life, they should all be watched and all taken into consideration to help prevent the lifelong case of teenage suicide.